my channel. My name is Sabrina and I'm so excited to have you here. Today we are going to be doing the gardener's book tag. So I figured this tag would be like perfect for me considering I love to garden. I have a huge garden outside, which many of you have probably seen in my reading vlogs. I love my garden and I figured this would be perfect for me because I can match garden prompts to my favorite books, and I was like, that is just amazingly perfect for what I like to do. So let's get started. The first question is book sprout. What was a book that immediately grabbed your attention? Me, that was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I loved this book. I love the murder mystery. I love how it immediately captured your attention with what was happening in the town, how she was connected to it, and how they came together to learn the mystery of the murder. I really liked this one. This one was pretty good for me. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed learning about the main character and learning about Andy and learning about how she passed and where she went. So this was a good one. I really enjoyed this one. Next one was It Grew on Me. This is a book that I wasn't completely sold on, but I did end up enjoying it. And that is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. This book was not the most surprising thriller for me. I honestly expected everything that was going to happen. And that was a disappointing part of this book. But overall, I did enjoy it. I partner read this with one of my friends, and I really thoroughly enjoyed reading it, learning the story, and learning about what happened to the wife upstairs. This book was fast, dramatic, messy, and honestly everything that I ever want in a thriller. Even though it was really predictable and I knew what was going to happen before I even turned the page, I did enjoy it and I did learning about the characters and just reading a really good thriller. The next one is Full Bloom, a book that completely lived up to his potential, and for that one I have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. This book was such an amazing fantasy, and as you know on this channel, I'm not a super big fantasy reader, but this book captured my attention from the beginning. The magicalness and the fantasy was so immersive, and you felt like you were in the story. I haven't got around to reading the second one, which is really disappointing, but I really should order it to be able to read the second one. I loved reading this book. I read it so quickly with how immersed you felt in the story and learning about the characters and the history and all of the things. This was a really good one and I really enjoyed it. The next one is Slow Growing Plant. What's a slower or quieter book that you had to be patient with to read? And that one for me was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which I don't have my physical copy on me. I actually could not find it, but here is the cover, and I really enjoyed the story. I had to read it for one of my social work classes, and overall, I really enjoyed the story of these two people and learning about their relationship and their friendship and watching it grow. It was something that really was important and really built the story. I loved watching Ari learn to understand himself and learn to grow and learn to understand and love the people around him and watch him grow as a character. Once I finished the book, the slower pacing made sense, and it made sense that the slowest pacing helped us cherish the story a little bit more. The next one is A Wilted Plant, a story that started good but fell apart quick. And for me, this one is A Very Bossy Christmas, which I read on Kindle, so the cover is right here. I enjoyed this book at the beginning, but about the last 20%, I felt myself dragging through it. It got really bad really fast, and overall, I just really didn't enjoy the last portion of it, so I would recommend putting it down with 25% left. I usually love me a good Christmas romance, but this one just did not do it for me. The next one is Too Many Reads. What is a book that had a storyline or a character that could be easily removed? And for me, that was the book One Italian Summer by Rebecca Steele. While I love the travelness of it, and I love the storyline, and I love the dual storyline, and the travel, and the time travel, I really enjoyed that aspect. But there was one aspect that could have been removed, and that was Adam. I did not like the Adam storyline. I felt like it took away from the main story and the things we were learning about the main character and the love I had for this story. Without Adam, I definitely would have loved this book a little bit more. Next book is Need Pruning. What is a book that would have been so much better if it was a little bit shorter? And for that one, I chose Begin Again by Emma Lord. This had a really cute setting, and I really enjoyed the college setting and the storyline behind the radio station. I really did love that premise, but around page 250, I didn't really understand why we were still beating a dead horse. It felt like we were talking about the same thing over and over and over, and that was a little struggle at times. But overall, I did enjoy this book. I felt like if we would have shortened it and kind of learned more about who was the radio station host earlier, we could have ended the book a little earlier. Overall, I did enjoy this book. I don't think it took away from the book any being as long as it did, but I feel like it definitely could have been shorter. The next one is A Dramatic Tomato Plant. What character made most of their own problems? And that one is Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. I loved this book. I loved the summerness of it. I loved the teasing and the very middle high school kind of being in it YA books that this kind of had to it. But Lou was insufferable. Lou created so many of her own problems and then was so wishy-washy. She was so miserable throughout the whole book. And I know maybe that was a little bit of the premise and learning about Lou and kind of understanding what she liked. But overall, Lou was insufferable to me. It kind of ruined parts of the book for me because Lou was just completely complaining throughout the entire book. And I was like, Miss Lou girl, we don't need to be complaining this much. It's okay. It's fine. We're going to be okay. But overall, me and Miss Lou, we didn't get along. Didn't enjoy Lou. Next book I have is Surprise Harvest. What book was so much better than you expected? And that one is I See London, I See France by Sarah Manowski. I went into this book thinking, oh, another travel romance, whatever. I love me a good travel romance. This book was so much better than a travel romance. We traveled all across Europe in this book. We made friendships. We lost friendships. We met new people. This was an amazing travel romance. And even though it is YA and it's a little bit more childish with the relationships and things like that, I overall thoroughly enjoyed this. I felt like it was greatly researched and we learned a little bit about each country they went to, and it has a map. How can you hate a book with a map? This was like finding a little seed packet in the back of your drawer and it's still sprouting. I absolutely loved this book. The next book I have is Homegrown Comfort. What book was comforting, cozy, and you just loved all around? For that one, I picked Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I loved the relationship in this story and Josh and Hazel's banter and going back and forth and learning about each other and growing in the relationship. It was one of those relationships that was really easy to root for and you really wanted them to be together. I loved how comforting they were to each other, and also the characters were really comforting to me to learn more about them. So overall, I did enjoy this book a lot. The next one is The Pest Problem, a character I wanted removed immediately, and y'all might hate me for this one. Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, and yeah, Edward Cullen needed to go. Rereading this, I realized how much I actually despised Edward Cullen and how horrible he was to Bella. And nobody can argue with me on that because I stand by my statement. I was an Edward Cullen girl when I first read Twilight, but now rereading it, it just seems like Edward is just, he's like 100 and he acts like a teenager. And I realize he is a teenager physically, but no, he needs to grow up. Get a therapist. Didn't enjoy. Next one is Compost It. What is the book that you threw away immediately? And that one is The Truth and Lives of Ella Black. I don't have a copy of this book because I did donate it, but here is a picture. I overall did not like this book. I ended up reading about 30 pages and DNFing it. It was just not for me. I really didn't enjoy it. If you enjoyed it, I'm very glad, but I did not enjoy this book at all. Next one I have is The Prize-Winning Vegetable. What is one of the best books you've ever read? And for that one, I'm going to pick up The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I love dystopian books, and this was one of those books that really hit me in the heart as a social worker and learning about the suffrage and the women that were forced to have these babies and live in a very segregated place. I loved this book, learning about the characters, learning about June and all of her friends and the push they were doing to make sure they were getting the rights that they deserved in somewhere that didn't want them to get the rights they deserved. If you enjoy dystopian kind of stories like that, I think The Handmaid's Tale is a really good one. If you watch the show, that's cool too, but I think the book has a whole different aspect to it. This was one of those books that made me think for a long time after finishing it, but overall I still really enjoyed it. And finally, Seeds for Next Season. What is a series that you really want to finish? And that is the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I've only read the first book and I'm really wanting to look at the next two books. I do own the next two books, but I haven't opened them up yet. I'm hoping that maybe I will start them soon once I get off this romance kick. And that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this tag and I hope you do this tag too. All of the questions are down below. make sure you do it and tag me. I would love to watch your video. And the people that I tag are below. So without further ado, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the reading vlog that will be up Wednesday, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!